One of the most important ways to learn is through one-on-one mentorship. At Hackett Catholic Prep, we pride ourselves on our tutoring program. The National Honor Society strives to help anyone and everyone who needs help. I talked to 3 individuals who all agree that students need guidance and mentorship. Here's what they have to say. What do you do when you fail?
What do I do when I fail? Well, I have a lot of practice at that, Keegan. Usually I give up for the night.
Cool.
And I tell myself I quit and I'm never going to do it again. And then I go to sleep. And when I wake up, I usually feel a little bit better.
Gotcha.
And then I usually can come up with a plan.
The indomitable human spirit.
That's right.
When you come up on shortcomings, is there anyone that you go to or ask for help?
I think I usually try to ask my friends or people that I think are on my side. And usually when I do, I find that I'm not the only one who's having a hard time.
Yeah.
And that always just makes me feel better. And then sometimes we work together, and that helps.
What do you think are the other characteristics of someone who's helpful, like a friend, as you were explaining? What does a helpful person look like?
Oh, a helpful person is not someone who's always the smartest person. It is just someone who will work with you, someone who you think will understand that you might struggle sometimes, and that's okay.
At Hackett, since you've been here probably the longest of other staff members, what do you think? Do you think the people in the community at Hackett are the type of people you just described, the helpful, caring type?
I think mostly yes. A lot of them are.
I would like to ask you, how do you think people learn?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think through experiences which they're excited about, which they're engaged in. In teaching, we call it light bulb moments when something just clicks. And I think a lot of times that comes from a mentor, somebody that takes an interest in the student and draws them into a certain academic pursuit.
When you say academically or just in life, when you fail, where do you go? Do you just give up immediately, or do you?
I think I've heard the term called failing forward. So you fail forward. If you look at anybody's story of success, pretty much the meat of the story is their failure. And their failure breeds success, that they learn and they learn from their mistakes and they fail forward.
So, where do you go when you fail forward? Do you go to someone in particular, or do you try to pick up a book?
You look to people who seem to have mastered, things, experiences. You look at master teachers, mentor teachers, especially when you're young, but you're always looking. I'm surrounded by great teachers, so I'm always looking to them for inspiration, advice, new ways of doing things. I think a good mentor leader is probably somebody who recognizes in you your potential and speaks to your potential, and they recognize that you can do better. They recognize that you have a long way to go, and they're going to help you to get there. I've always been drawn to mentors who also have a little bit of humor, and that keeps me engaged, and that keeps me having fun.
Accomplished. As a professor, you have to teach a lot of people, so I was wondering, how do you think people learn? As a person, how do you learn?
Well, for me, the way I think about learning is learning for me has been a community thing. So I grew up in Detroit, which has a rich jazz tradition and culture, and it's always been about mentorship. And so that is the number one way that I learned, through my community. Tons of elders and mentors and people who care for you. And we look at that philosophy as each one teach one. And so also as you move through your early career as a musician, you become a mentor early on.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So it's your responsibility to teach the next generation. You sort of can learn at your own pace.
Yeah.
So there are a couple things. There was group lessons where I learned in that way. And that was inspiring because at the time when I first started playing jazz, I was kind of the beginner in the group.
Yeah.
So to be in a place where everybody's so much better than you is good. Mm-hmm. But then you need the one-on-one so that you can develop, because everybody learns at a different pace, mm-hmm. and everyone has a different learning style. But because you got that one-on-one support, it wasn't so daunting to be in the group, mm-hmm. because everybody was so advanced.
Yeah. Most people don't think that they need help or believe that they should just struggle alone. To be successful in life, you need to reach out for help. The Gabriel Richards chapter is here to help, so please reach out and come to the student-run tutoring. We are happy to help. If you have any questions, ask the director of tutoring or any NHS member.